you are a Boilermaker operating in a world that keeps saying Hoosier.
Yes.
Is that like a mental challenge sometimes, that you are really gung-ho about the state, but you probably wish they would just stop saying Hoosier?
Well, I think we all reconcile ourselves to the terminology of Hoosiers overall. I'll tell you the bigger challenge that I faced. I mean, I'm a very proud Boilermaker in many different senses of the word. I feel a little conflicted at times because now I do have the opportunity to interact more with IU and Ball State, Ivy Tech, and we have these tremendous institutions, and it makes me feel kind of bad. I'm like, they're really doing a good job.
Like, I'm a Boilermaker.
Right.
I can't really say that.
Right, exactly. And so it's just, and I think of challenges to have, I'll take that one, that I can still feel really proud of everything that Purdue is doing. It's really exciting to see how they're pushing the envelope for all of higher ed, not just in Indiana, but really across the country with some really innovative things. But they're not the only ones doing that. That IU is in many different ways, as is Ball State, as is Southern Indiana, Ivy Tech, and what's interesting too, now, I mean, I have the opportunity to interact with a lot of different state institutions, but I also get to interact with entities outside of Indiana who are looking at what we're doing and what our different stakeholders are doing. And we have this preponderance, I think, as Hoosiers, to be pretty humble about what we're doing, who we are, because that's just a part of our characteristic, our personality. There's a lot of value that comes from that it leads to hard work and keeping our head down, and we just do what we do. And we don't necessarily recognize that, one, we can share a little bit more of what that all is towards a greater good, and it's not just bragging, it's being able to celebrate all that we're doing. And there's a whole lot of people who are looking at what Indiana is doing and saying, how do we do that? That we don't always appreciate that there's a lot of movement outside of this state of people saying, this is really amazing of what Indiana is doing, how they're looking at their challenges, particularly going back to our discussion about collaboration, that I get calls from people in California, in DC, and Florida about how are you doing this, of building the kind of collaboration at the state and local level, because they recognize that's what's sustainable.
Yeah.
It outlives any one different entity.
And any entities in a particular moment of success for a period of time, that's what ultimately lasts.